Flashback.
And you haven't responded to the fact that 78% of Ontario psychiatrists believe that whatever so-called safeguards that will be in place are completely insufficient. We're talking about wrongful deaths when there's an inappropriate application of MATE. That's what we're talking about.
So we're talking here in this legislation
is what you've demonstrated is that
we're taking
ideological.
First of all, I'm just going to say I reject.
You're playing with people's lives.
I reject that totally. I reject
that. It's absolutely disgraceful.
No, what is disgraceful is mischaracterizing my position or mischaracterizing the position of any member of Parliament, sir. Saying that any member of Parliament doesn't care about any human life is a disgraceful thing that I will not tolerate.
Well,
and for you to step into this committee and make an accusation of any member of Parliament that they do not care about the life of another human being is absolutely beyond reproach, sir. I have spent my entire life, as you have, fighting for the good in this world. And for you to accuse a good person of not caring about human life, shame on you. Shame on you.
Well, thanks for taking my question. It's a pretty specific one, but my understanding is that people who have their pancreas removed have what's called type 3 diabetes. I heard type 1 and type 2 mentioned as being covered for equipment. I wanted to confirm, my understanding is currently if you have type 3 diabetes, which is probably the most severe type, you're actually not covered for these products. And I wanted to confirm whether this announcement means that you would be covered for, things alerting you about your insulin levels and things like that.
Yeah, the intention is the intention of this fund is for all types of diabetes. So that there are, as you quite rightly have referenced, many different types of diabetes. And the idea in the creation of the devices fund was to help improve access. It's not and to reduce costs. So it's not going to fix everything, but it is going to be available there for folks writ large. And I don't know if Josie, you want to add anything, but I think certainly folks should expect relief across the spectrum.
And just kind of following up on Mercy's question, so for folks who are looking forward to having things like contraception or these diabetes products covered, the wait will be 1 year from now? So
contraceptives are now, so BC's already doing that. So that BC's out of the gate, and this agreement recognizes their leadership. And one of the reasons we're able to do more here, because, when we were negotiating for Ron and Wilson and Peter, when we were negotiating pharmacare, we said diabetes drugs, devices, strips, related materials, and contraceptives. But because BC was already doing contraceptives, we're able to take the money that would have gone to contraceptives and allow us to do hormone replacement therapy. So contraceptives are now. That's something that BC was already leading on. This is the next step in that journey, and the other drugs that I mentioned, which are beyond what was contemplated in Parliament, will start at the latest in the 1st of March of next year.
Next question in the room comes from Andrew McLeod, the Tyee.
Yeah, hi, Minister. You were out here a few months ago announcing the Memorandum of Understanding. Today it's an agreement. What's the difference? What's changed there? And you mentioned in your comments about it being secure for generations. How safe is this from a change of government?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, in the Memorandum of Understanding, the idea was in a broad outline to give people a sense of what a deal might look like. And at that point, it was non-binding, but it was the two governments entering into a common understanding of what we wanted to do. And I really want to thank BC because, as all of us, Ron, Wilson, Peter, and all of us were working through the process in the House of Commons, it was critical to be able to show senators, as we were moving through the Senate process as an example, how that might function. So the difference here today, it's a signed deal. This is happening. This is real. This is not coming to an understanding. This is a transfer of money and an agreement that Josie and I will very soon be signing just in the next couple of moments. Let me talk about a change in government. That always is a possibility, but I would say it is madness that this is even a debate. I mean, first of all, this will have been a signed contract, and I think there is a long-standing practice that you honor the agreements that previous governments signed. So that's in the first order. And the second order is the Conservatives' chief criticism of pharmacare has been that it doesn't exist and that it's not real. Well, it's real. They have the same criticism around dental. So I think they actually have to look patients in the eye and tell them what they're going to do. And I would say there's a lot of diabetes patients, frankly, they don't care about partisanship, right? And their families don't. They care about being healthy. They care about making sure they don't get sicker. And certainly, I think Canadians writ large want us to manage money well and to make sure that we're transforming our health system. So, you know, if their position is they don't support people having diabetes medication, they could come out and explain that and explain why they don't support it. But it's, you know, it's up for them to explain that.
Who's going to lose their job over this?
Nobody.
Nobody. So there is an act of treason, and of course treason is defined in the Criminal Code of Canada as the sharing of military or scientific information
Who are you accusing
with an
of
agent
treason?
of a foreign state.
Who are you accusing of
listen,
treason?
I'm not here for you to ask
If you're going to
questions.
accuse somebody of
You are
treason,
here
you're
to answer
absolutely
my
going to answer
questions,
for it.
Minister,
Who are you
and
accusing
your
of treason,
crazy
sir?
bombast and
Who
your
are you
foolish,
accusing?
petulant behavior
Who are you
is
accusing of
not
treason?
going to make this committee bow
Minister,
down
you
to
can't
your
accuse somebody of
ridiculousness.
treason and not name them.
So
That's
I think
totally
that I'm
irresponsible.
here to ask the questions,
Minister?
and you're here to answer them, which you continue to refuse to do. So this is actually a point of privilege if you don't want to answer the questions. Is that how you want to do this?
What I want to be able to do is understand who you just accused of treason, sir. That's an incredibly awful accusation.
Do you know what the definition of treason is?
Who are you accusing of treason?
No, I'm asking questions. Do you know what the definition
I get to
of
ask
treason
questions.
is?
You don't get to dictate that.
Do you know
Who are
what
you
the-
accusing
do you know
of
what the
treason,
definition
sir?
of treason
Who
is,
are
yes
you
or no?
accusing of treason?
Oh, you really have no idea.
Who are you
That's
accusing of
exactly
treason?
what Canadians want to hear.
Who are you accusing
What's
of
the
treason?
definition of treason,
If you
Minister?
are going to accuse somebody of treason in this country, that is a reprehensible
You know
thing to
what?
do,
I
and
do
I
not-
would
I
ask
do-
that you
I do
name who
not
you were
need to
accusing of
answer your
treason.
questions, but you need to answer mine. What is the definition of treason? Do you have any idea?
Well, I'd be curious. You name somebody as being treasonous, so who are they and what's
I
your
asked you what the
definition?
definition of treason is. Do you know what it is?
Betraying your country.
No, that's not it. It is actually very simply knowingly communicating military or scientific information or documents to an agent of a state other than Canada with the intention of jeopardizing the safety or defense of Canada.
So
Did that happen at this lab?
in neither you nor I are a lawyer, but you and I would both know that calling somebody something like a
You know what, Minister? You're not a doctor.
Committing
but you
to-
made a whole bunch of claims today that are
committing,
non-scientific
but naming
as
somebody,
well.
saying that somebody is a traitor, okay,
I'm
is
simply asking you the
is
question.
a very serious accusation, and I would say that it's normally a matter that would be determined by courts.
Yeah.
And
But
so
you
I'm
don't even-
asking,
you
I had
don't even
asked
know
you
what
who
the
you would.
definition is, Minister. You have no idea. You're clueless.
Well,
You
that's
have
your
no idea what the
characterization, and I
answer is.
don't know that. I
You're
think you felt
reckless,
that.
you're permissive,
But sir, you felt that
you
way
were loose
before you
with the
met me.
facts.
You're so blinded by your partisanship, you would have thought that about me before you even spoke to me.
No, you've proven it today that you don't
Chair,
know
point
the
of
facts
order,
of your
Chair.
file. That's the worst part.
Point of
Well, I
order,
don't know what the
Mr.
purpose
Naqvi.
is. You have no
Excuse
idea.
me, excuse me.